the amount of time you guys spend learning with us as we go is much appreciated.
Yeah.
What's up, YouTube? We are back, and we are on the XJ. We're getting my axle swapped out. Already ripped out the 50. Took everything off of it. Didn't really show that part. It's as simple as pulling an axle out. So we've been in the shop all day. Casey is not here now, but he has been here. We moved the Comanche. It is now in the front of the shop. My Jeep is in the back of the shop. Got some banners hung up. Cleaned up a bit. So where I'm at now is we left the axle stripped down completely because it's a whole lot easier to move. The XJ swap truss that Barnes does, you get these bushings that go in the top, and you're actually supposed to 4-link it, so there would be another one over there, but I was already 3-linked and I left it that way. So obviously a ton of stress on that bushing, and it didn't hold up. I went through both of them, and that one's blown out now. So it's getting replaced with a heim joint. So that guy will go there. But yeah, the lower link bars are in and the bolts are just stuck through it. One thing I did before I pulled the axle out was I took a bunch of measurements just for where my ride height was, where the axle sat in relation to the ground at ride height. And I did all that so that I can try to set everything up where it needs to be before I get in here to do the coilovers and start cutting all this stuff out. So I can try to land it to where my ride height is close to where it needs to be, just right out of the gate without having to adjust a whole bunch of stuff. But it's getting late. I don't know how much more of this I'm going to get done this evening. I thought maybe I'd just cut the welds off and try to save the tube, because the tube does run further up into here, but it's just going to be way more trouble than it's worth. So I'm just going to cut it off back here, and I bought a Magnum heim joint from Barnes because I thought this might be an issue. Okay, I got this set up, so you can see how that's going to work out. It fits really good. I was kind of worried that I would have a ton of threaded shaft showing, but I mean, that's perfectly acceptable. There's this much more threaded shaft in here because that's a Magnum heim joint, like I had mentioned earlier. So now I really need to just tack that up, and this way I can cycle the suspension up and down and see, make sure I have clearance back here where I need it. I was actually rubbing the drive shaft. I think at full droop, the drive shaft would just touch that upper link, so I need to try to pull it this way if possible. We're back in the garage. This is kind of a 2-for-1. Casey's working on the Comanche. I'm working on the axle swap and the coilovers. So let's tell the people what you got going on.
Well,
in the world of the Mailmanche.
What all the forms say, the torque converter cone will go right into a 6.0 crankshaft in. No, it will not. But we didn't find that out until everything's in. And I'm not taking it back apart, so I'm making spacers. And
we got radiator hoses figured out. Still trying to find some car injectors.
Yeah, I've got the bracket, the throttle cable, and everything should be here the next day or two.
I got hoops from Rough Stuff Specialties. Shout out to those guys. They sent me hoops and some sweet little brackets to mount my reservoirs. So that's super cool. These hoops I think will work really good because there's a long side and a short side, and I'm probably going to end up tipping my hoops forward a little bit, possibly just to help with clearance for the master cylinder. But we'll see. That's probably the side I'll do first, and then I can just make the passenger side match, because that's the side with the space restrictions. But before I get to that point, I got it set up on jack stands. I have the upper link tabs just tacked to the axle so I could run the axle up. I'm kind of playing with the pinion angle a little bit, because with the ball joint eliminators, I'll have the ability to set the knuckle, I think it's 3 degrees back, so I can get a better pinion angle but keep the same caster, so it would still drive the same on the road. I got to adjust my lower links forward a little bit because I'm going to push the axle out some. Unbolt and cut the track bar bracket off. I'm going to run an offset track bar bracket from Barnes, and I don't know where I put it. Probably a little bit further forward, somewhere in here, or like here. I don't know yet. There's a ton of space restrictions when you try to keep the ride height this low, that's for sure. That's where we're at, and that's what we're doing. It's a beautiful, sunny Saturday here in Talking Rock, Georgia. Here's what we got. Well, where's the steering? Let's get all of it. Let's get the whole
shebang.
Alright, so let's walk through what we've done thus far.
Yeah, we're gonna have to take it back apart to show, but so Rough Stuff Specialties sells it's a 3-bolt disconnect steering wheel adapter,
and it's got
it's got two different bolt patterns. It's got a 3 big and 3 small.
Yeah.
And so, but the PRP is a 6 all the way around, and which the what brand is yours?
I have a Genride adapter.
Yeah. So we talked to the guys at Rust Stuff, and they sent us this, and then that's when we realized that it's not made for a PRP steering wheel. So we made an adapter, which was super easy.
Yeah. Tell them how easy it was.
I mean, I was there too.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm just talking about.
Let me lay it out there for you. Casey's got the steering wheel and he's got the adapter, and he's like a sad puppy. He's like, "Well, this ain't gonna work." And I said, "Just let me take it with me. I'll make an adapter for you." So I take the steering wheel, I take the quick connect piece, and I find a piece of steel. I make a template. I lay it out. So I use a hole saw to cut the outer circumference, and then I ground it down, cleaned it up, and then I made a template for the adapter piece.
Yes.
And a template for the steering wheel, and then I drilled those bolt patterns into it. I tapped it so that the steering wheel would bolt straight to it. Basically, I missed my calling. I probably should have been a machinist.
Let me rephrase that. Jonathan made it look easy. I mean, I helped a little bit, but yeah, when it come to the adapters and the tapping and all that stuff, I mean, I supplied the taps and all that stuff. What was?
Ooh.
Anyways, that's not the point.
I mean, it kind of is.
So this right here,
it depends on who you ask.
So this here is, I mean, they got one size fits all type of deal. So when it comes to putting it on your column, that's all up to you at that point. It's meant to be welded to a steering shaft.
Yeah.
And I didn't, want to go through doing another steering shaft, so we just figured out something to weld it to.
And this is on a stock 96 plus column, because we're using the steering column out of his 97. But the column
is fairly small.
It's kind of small.
But now I've measured it on all kinds of different ones, but a 16 millimeter chrome socket.
3/8 drive shallow.
3/8 drive shallow. They're hardened, so when you do a drill bit, you have to I don't know, do as much as you can out of it. I done enough to where I had a lip. I can't remember. It was a 1/2 inch drill bit.
Okay.
On the inside.
The unibit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I went, I don't know, maybe a 1/2 inch deep and then stopped. It was enough for me to put it on there, take a hammer, and beat it on. But
God, look at that.
I know, right? It's just perfect. I mean, it's got nothing. But you have to, make sure you get this thing straight, or your steering wheel's going to be all kinds of crooked. But it's not really that hard to get it straight.
So at this point, you're going to weld the socket to the shaft,
Yes,
right?
I'm going to weld the socket to the shaft.
And then you're going to weld the
I'm going to slide this, because I got it to where, like, out here is perfect for everything that I want to do. And then once that's in,
look at that.
you can't beat that. Can't beat it at all.
We should have been professionals.
I'm telling you. We need to be on the R&D team for sure somewhere. Hit us up.
We don't need nothing but a ruler, some painter's tape, and a crayon.
Yeah, and some cardboard.
So when you weld this one right here, you're gonna put this on. Now where you gonna weld it? Like right in here? Man, that's gonna look good.
What's the boss think about it?
Yeah, that's gonna work perfect. Sharp. Hey, can I borrow that while you're welding?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the safety squint.
I got a pair of tinted safety glasses.
Hey.
This time we're building a console for the Mailmanche. Something we've never done before. Oh yeah, I'm not saying I'm scared or anything.
I'm just saying.
But if you have, feel free to yell at your TV, laptop, phone, whatever you're watching this on, and tell us how we're doing this wrong.
Yeah, because this might whoop us.
Never know. I forgot to get cutoff wheels, so there's not much I can do to this. I did cut out more of the fender.
Yeah, what is this diff trap?
That's what I was working with last night.
Yeah, I saw that earlier today, and I was like, God dang.
That's about half wore out. But it worked good because I was doing this cut right here, and it kept me back away so I could see. And it was scary.
Yeah.
It was a little bit scary. But what'd you call that stuff? Red bar?
Yeah, it's 1x1, but we call it red bar.
Okay.
It goes in top of gas stations.
Big old piece of it. And so I think the plan is to build a console that starts here or here, I'm not sure, and just kind of gradually slope it back to in here somewhere. Casey got the panel piece glued in for all of his accessories, the main power cut off, all that stuff's good to go. So yeah, watch us learn how to build a console.
We'll start from scratch.
Like we do everything else. I don't know, do you think you want it down that low? I mean, how did it feel when you were sitting in here and the shifter was right on the floorboard? Did that seem good to you, or was that...
Yeah, I mean, like higher up.
Was lower better, you think?
I think lower is
Lower better?
It probably wouldn't hurt to cut that a couple more times to kind of level that out.
Okay.
So the shifters ain't. If they're leaned down, then I'm going to be.
Yeah.
Take that, cut it just a little bit.
Yeah, that looked
Right
good.
down the floor.
Yeah.
Right there, bam, 2 speakers and a woofer in the back. Son, I'm just gonna be out there just
jamming out.
vibing. Just out there vibing. I'm gonna put carpet back in it. Get that welded back.
You know damn good well you're probably just gonna go to Walmart, if anything, and buy some floor mats and throw in here.
I know. Well, but I mean, everything else looks pretty decent, and then the floorboard looks like hammered down.
We can paint that straight.
Got a wire running through for the fuel
Looks
pump.
like there's been a fire in here.
Yeah.
You can paint over that wire. Get some of that like bedliner stuff and just
I thought about
go
that
to
too.
town in here.
Pick it up. I mean, put so much in here.
We'll be so high by the time it's done, we'll be spraying the outside of the truck. We know how good that looks.
Maybe if somebody else is doing it. I think even if we wasn't high from the fuse, we still couldn't do it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I like it. That's way better than the idea that I had. Tickled. Tickled I am. And that's pretty out.
All right.
Until next time.
Thanks for watching the madness that ensues here in the shop. That's it. We got a lot to do, and you'll see that in another episode.
And one day we might be out on the trail sometime, really.
Maybe. Peace.
Yeah. The one thing I do like about it is it's my favorite color.
Black and yellow, black and yellow.
Ah!
That definitely not gonna make the cut.